What's going on, guys, and welcome back to Injection of Inspiration, where every single Saturday I, Graham G.S. Matthews, inject you with your daily dose of motivational advice, helpful tips, and all that other feel-good, positive, awesome shit. First and foremost, before we get started, this video stems from something that was talked about earlier this week on my brother Jason's channel, Blue Eye Disorder. Check it out. I don't know how many times I've promoted it, how many times I've plugged it here on the channel, here on Injection, random video blog, WWE Network and Chill, stuff like that. I talk about Jason all the time. The guy's awesome. He's been on a hashtag with me a bunch of times, though. Obviously, he was on a few weeks ago, but back to the matter at hand. He always has great videos. He puts up about 4 to 5 videos a week, 3 to 4 videos a week. Sometimes they're musical performances, talking about Tic Tac, sometimes story times, night terrors, and all this other great stuff. Really, a little bit of everything for everyone. But his video this past week, Story Time, I thought was great. Now, he told me the story firsthand when I met up with him about a week ago, or earlier this week, actually, when we hung out back on Monday, and he put it up the next day or on Wednesday, whatever. And I don't want to repeat the exact story word for word. You're going to have to check out the original video for Jason's side of the story. And he made so much sense. And I think a reason, we've talked about this before, why Jason and I click so well as friends is because we're on the same wavelength there. When it comes to, I've said before, not that I don't like people, but it's not one of those things where I hate people. Like, I don't hate anyone. It's one of those type of things where I just don't like to interact with the public more often than not. And I will when I have to, but I don't like to when I don't have to. But like when I'm at work and stuff, I'll do it because I enjoy talking to people. And sometimes people can be great. More often than not, people are very nice. There's usually just a bad egg in every single batch that you're going to have to deal with. And this episode of Injection of Inspiration has to do with opinions, because that's exactly what Jason talked about on Tuesday. And he had talked about an experience where he was at Walmart. Again, I don't want to repeat the exact same story word for word. You're going to have to check out the original video for that. But he was at some convenience store like Walmart or something along those lines, and someone had said something not too nice to him. Whether they were aware of it or not, whether they said it the wrong way, they said something they should not have said to Jason that was apparent that it was offensive. And Jason said something about it, as he should have. And basically the bottom line of his story was that if you have an opinion that's not too nice, keep it to your fucking self. I mean, if it's online, if it's on Twitter, I mean, that's one thing. I mean, you shouldn't be doing it then either. I mean, as the old adage goes, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all. Now, of course, that can be interpreted many different ways. You could say, oh, well, like I'm talking about wrestling here for a second. I'm not going to, hold back my criticism of the WWE, or I'm not going to hold back my criticism of how my workplace works or whatever. Nor should you. You should be outspoken, but you shouldn't be shitting on people when it's not necessary. When your opinion is irrelevant, when you say, oh, I hate, brownies. You go to a bake sale and they're selling brownies, and, I mean, that's a bit different. What's a good example? Okay, I'm going to kind of steal from Jason a bit and use an actual example of something that happened not too long ago at my own workplace. And I won't say where I work. I'm sure I've mentioned it before, but Jason and I work at the same place. I've never actually said the word-for-word place. I just say the general industry that I work at, if that makes any sense. Anyway, let's move on. So, at my workplace, not too long ago either, this was only maybe about a month ago, a few weeks ago, like earlier this month, whatever. So, I was at the place, whatever, and someone walks in, and I'm like, hey, how can I help you? Like, blah, 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 the air conditioning's on. She's like, wow, I hate this place. She didn't say this place, she said what the place was, the name of the industry, which I'll withhold, obviously, here from the video. But she's like, wow, I hate this place because it was so cold and it's always so fucking cold. And there, mind you, we have the air conditioning on always anyway. But a lot of people come in during the summer because they love the air conditioning. So should that not be a positive? Like, you literally just came out from 70-degree weather, 80-degree weather, 90-degree weather. Should you not be, like, why are you complaining about the air conditioning when it's a lot nicer in here than it is outside right now when you could be sweating your ass off? But this woman goes, oh, I hate this place, as she's waiting for her husband to come back and grab her, like, her fucking jacket or something. But then she proceeds to come in and purchase something from our establishment and stay for a number, for a substantial amount of time. She proceeds to stay at our establishment, despite the fact that she said that she hated our establishment and she could prefer other ones in the area that are cheaper or whatever. How fucking dumb is that? I mean, if you don't like the place, that's your own 2 cents. Honestly, I honestly could not give a shit. I could not fucking care less. But why would you say that to a place that is welcoming you in and we are allowing you to stay here? You are paying money to be here, but you are saying that you don't like it. Why? If you don't like it, fucking leave. You know what I mean? I'm not upset over it. It didn't piss me off. It's one of those things that just makes me laugh. Like, how could you be so stupid? You know what I mean? And I was telling Jason the same thing when we talked about his story, when I met up with him earlier this week, that it's one of two things. Either they're not aware and they're just oblivious to the dumb things they're saying, or two, they're just purposely being an asshole, which I can almost respect more than the first one. Because if you're just fucking stupid and you don't know what you're saying, how can you be so dumb? The second one, you know what you're saying, you're just blatantly being an asshole for whatever reason. If you don't give a shit, that's one thing, but just don't be a fucking asshole. Keep your opinions to yourself if it's not a positive one. Again, if you're criticizing something, if you're offering your your constructive criticism to someone, that's another topic of discussion. Here I'm talking about, for example, like I'm walking down the street wearing my CM Punk shirt. Someone comes up to me and says, "Oh, is that a CM Punk shirt?" And I go, "Yeah, it is." And they say, "Man, I hate CM Punk. He's a piece of shit. I fucking hate the guy. Have a nice day." Like, I don't care. I don't give a shit what you think. If you like the guy, cool. If you don't, then I don't fucking care. Why would you tell me that? Like, some people just like their opinions to be heard. And as the quote says that I'll put for the thumbnail of this video, and as I've said millions of times before as well, people's opinions of you, more often than not, aren't their opinions of you. They're their own opinions of themselves. That's their own reflection of their own self, if that makes sense. Like, for example, if someone comes up to you, if you're at your workplace, like I am, and someone's giving you a hard time, they're just being a fucking bitch about everything, or a fucking asshole about everything, guy, woman, doesn't matter. They're just being a complete douche about everything, okay? And they're giving you a hard time. First of all, don't let their bad mood give you a bad mood. Don't let the one bad egg of every other good egg out there ruin your mood. It's amazing how like one negative thing can make us so upset, yet it takes like a million positive remarks to make us feel good. It should really be the other way around, but that's just the way the human brain works. But you can work against that if you put your mind to it. But anyway, those type of people, if they're having a bad day, more often than not, it's because they're having a bad day. But that's no excuse. You don't be a fucking asshole to people for no apparent reason. If you have an opinion on something, keep it to yourself. Usually it's because they're not happy with themselves. It's a reflection of how depressed they are or unhappy they are. And it really has nothing to do with you more often than not. If they come in there and they're shitting on you, or if they give their opinion on something that you like, and they proceed to tear it down, more often than not, 95% of the time, it's because they want to feel better about themselves. So they tear other people down. Or either they do it, they don't do it purposely, or they don't do it consciously. But even then, they're just fucking oblivious and they're dumb. So don't associate yourself with those type of people. And again, I know I'm repeating myself from past videos and other messages and morals I've talked about before and other installments of Injection of Inspiration. But I watched that video from Jason, and I thought it would be a great way to piggyback off what he was talking about, because it's a great theme. It's a great lesson to learn if you're one of those type of people that just goes up to places and be like, "Wow, do you like this thing?" "Yeah, I do." Then you know what? That fucking sucks. Why would you do that? Like, why make that be known? What purpose is that serving other than maybe making your own self feel good? Like, it's not worth it to anyone. So keep your fucking mouth shut, because it's going to get your ass kicked at some point down the road. That person who you said it to might not say anything. Jason said something to that guy, as he should have, and I commend him for that. But other guys, Jason was very cordial and nice about it. There are other people out there who aren't going to be so nice and cordial about what you have to say. It's something that might offend them. And I'm not saying like being sensitive, like something that might outright offend them, that you telling them that something they enjoy sucks. Other people are just going to fucking punch you in the face or kick your ass, or both. So be very weary of what you say to people. More often than not, again, as the old adage goes, if you have nothing nice to say to someone, don't say it at all. Keep it to yourself. Keep your own opinion to yourself, or vent about it to other people, not to that person. I mean, there's something to be said for saying it to someone's face, but why be a fucking ass? Like, don't even speak shit at all. Don't even talk shit at all. Talk shit to people's face, or don't talk shit at all. That's really it. But don't talk shit, period, should be the moral here. Don't be offensive to people when it's really not necessary, when you're really only doing it to fulfill your own agenda. Don't do that. People don't fucking care. You come across like an asshole. Don't get a reputation for being the type of asshole who says negative things to people, again, for no apparent reason, just to be a fucking dick. That's really all you're doing. And it may not mean anything to you now, but you got to think how that other person will interpret what you're saying. And if you don't care, you don't care. Whatever. But if you're doing it just to be purposely be an asshole, or you're just oblivious to the fact that you're an asshole, there's an issue there. You might have to work on that. So that's today's edition of Injection of Inspiration. Thank you for checking out the show. As always, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, share the video, and comment on the video. All that stuff is amazingly appreciated. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys. I'm Graham G.S. Matthews, and I'll catch your ass down the road.